Can England beat Ireland in Dublin? Well, that is the question, isn't it? This Ireland team are fantastic. They're going for a three-peat, they're calling it, which is very American. I don't mind them calling it a three-peat, but a fantastic team playing at home in Dublin. The opener for Ireland is England, and we don't know enough about England yet, do we? But what we do know is that England beat Ireland at home, and I went back and watched the game. It was brilliant. England were great, and Marcus Smith on the 81st minute, the clock was in the red, dropped a goal. They had a penalty advantage, dropped the goal, and England beat Ireland. And some people have very short memories. They're like, England don't stand a chance against Ireland. Well, I'm unsure whether they can do it over there. I just want to talk a little bit about the England team. I'm interested to see what the fans think as well. And for me, it's the makeup of the back row. And I think Steve Borthwick has really struggled to decide who his best back row are. I'm in the studio with my agent Al, but I just want to talk about the makeup of the back row because they've gone for Tom Curry, Ben Curry, who are phenomenal players. They've gone for Ben Earl at 8, who I'm a massive Ben Earl fan. I'm just not convinced. I'm not convinced that Ben Earl is an 8. I think Ben Earl's a 7. And I look at the makeup of the back row, England have a clear game plan going into this game against Ireland, which is breakdown. Slow the breakdown down, slow Jameson Gibson Park. Have you got the team of Ireland there? Don't read it out yet. So I imagine Jameson Gibson Park's playing, and that is their sole aim in this. A simple game plan. It's great that they've got Alex Mitchell back. It's also very good for England that they've got Marcus Smith nailed in that 10 position, because if you remember during the autumn, they were moving him out of position even though he was England's best player. And as I said, he actually dropped the goal to win England that game against Ireland. So the makeup of the back row for me is a big question mark on England. I really like Ollie Chesham. I really like George Martin, who I don't think's been on form. I'm not going to say that he's lucky to be in the team, but when George Martin is good, he is very good. Against South Africa in that quarter-final, he was phenomenal. And you look at the 6-2 split that they've gone for, Chandler Cunningham South, who's been in the studio here, who I'm a massive fan of. For me, I just don't see him doing 80 minutes. That's the thing. I think his fitness is his Achilles heel. But he had some highlight moments for England in the Autumn Nation Series, as we know, the cold. And when he scored and the cold celebration that he did. But for me, the makeup of the back row is an issue for England. I'm going to find out what the Ireland team is in a minute. I'm really happy for Cadan Murley. Yeah, I'm a big Cadan Murley fan. Wicked bloke, lovely bloke. Does that matter? Yeah, it does to me. I know, chatting to Mac Hansen, that he's playing, so I knew that was the case. So me and Mac were going back and forth, because if he wasn't, we were going to do a few bits, and I knew Mac was playing. So Mac Hansen, who I'm a massive fan of, is against Cadan Murley. So I can't wait to see that. 2 great blokes and 2 brilliant players as well. And this is going to be a baptism of fire for Cadan, especially in the kicking game. Like, he's a smaller winger. As we know that Matt Hansen on the other wing is an all-round player, good over ball, good in the air, can score tries, is physical. So that battle between them is something, just because I like both the lads and I'm mates with both of them, to see how they do. But it's the battle of the back row, but also it's going to come down to who's playing 10 for Ireland. Hit me out.
Who is playing 10 for Ireland? We have Prendergast.
Boom!
Prendergast, yeah.
Knew it.
Yeah, do you want me to run through the team? I'll go through it. So it's Porter at 1, 2 is Kelleher, 3 is Beerlam, 4 is James Ryan, 5 is Tyke Byrne, 6 is Baird, 7 is Josh van der Fleer, and 8 is Caelan Doris.
Okay,
so it's almost full strength.
So 6 is Ryan Baird?
6 is Baird, yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
So go hit me with the back line.
The back line is Gibson Park, Prendergast, Aki, Ringrose, James Lowe, Keenan, Hansen.
Interesting. I mean, because the debate was all about who was going to play 10 for Ireland. Was it going to be Jack Crowley or was it going to be Sam Prendergast? I knew they'd go with Sam Prendergast. And it'd be interesting to know how Ireland fans feel, but also England fans, with seeing a Sam Prendergast there who is relatively unproven, but we know that Andy Farrell and everyone at Leinster's a massive fan of him. Anyone you speak to, they're talking about his ceiling being so high that he's nowhere near it at the minute. And I think, firstly, I feel for Jack Crowley. I think Jack Crowley's a wonderful player, but something in that Ireland team just hasn't clicked from an attacking point of view, or is it because teams have got better and something looks better with Ireland in attack with Sam Prendergast? I still think he's physically very small.
Yeah, he's raw.
And he's raw, and this is it. Like, I think genuinely you want to see how good this kid is.
So the Cajuns figure it out, isn't it? And it's now, give it a go, see how he goes.
And Ireland have got that luxury to do that.
Yeah, they do.
Do you know what I mean?
They do.
Because Ireland have been so successful in the Six Nations in years gone by. We know that the big incentive for Ireland is a World Cup. And we also know the biggest issue they've had is, one, at the end of Johnny Sexton's career, he was good, but he weren't the Johnny Sexton that he was obviously 4 or 5 years ago. And we know how important the 10 is. England have had the same issue with Marcus Smith.
Yeah.
But with Ireland, you've now got two. I'm a Ross Byrne fan as well. I feel for him. But you've got two young 10s who are vying for the position. I'm just looking at the headlines now. This will come out, obviously, it's going to be a little bit of old news, but we're recording on the hoof here. So Ireland picked Prendergast at fly-off, which is the standout kind of headline. This Ireland team are good. They are good, and they've got strength and depth, and you've got experience as well on the bench. They're sticking with Cian Healy as well, Cadan Murley. And I know some people don't like that. So some of the stuff that I've seen is like they need to blood new people in. But this is England's thing, right? The second half of games or the last 20 minutes of games where they're losing it is that experience to come on. And that's where I thought with like a Jamie George, I know that he's injured, but a Jamie George not starting and being on the bench gives England a different perspective to how it looked for them in the autumn and bringing on that experience. We saw the South Africa, I keep referencing it at the World Cup, where they were so dominant throughout the game. And then South Africa brought the bomb squad on, and the rest is history, as they say. But I think everyone's looking at this is, can Sam Prendergast deliver on the biggest stage? He's clearly now been given the keys to the kingdom. I don't know why. I'm almost like shocked and excited at the same time for Sam Prendergast. I don't know the kid. I've been back and forth a few times with Jack Crowley, but he's on the bench. And this is the thing with the 10. I actually don't think you should replace your 10. And the fact that he's playing with Jamison Gibson Park at 9, you've got Doris at 8, and then you've got James Lowe, who's back in the team, you've got Gary Ringrose, and you've got Hugo Keenan. So the backbone of that team is Leinster, and he's the 10. So he's working with these players, and Irish fans won't like to hear that, but you go into an international game, you know that and this is with England, where I'd go with just balanced, like a balanced team. And I just go into it. I'll just finish on this. It'd be interesting to see whether the fans think that England, now seeing that Ireland team with a Sam Prendergast at 10, you've got James Lowe, who's been out injured, who's come back. He played for Leinster the other week. You've got Dan Sheehan to come on, who's a world class player who can score tries for fun. But the backbone of the team, you've got Mac Hansen, proven. Clearly, Andy Farrell likes Mac Hansen because he's had a few weeks off with a ban. We say that with a wry smile. We fucking love Mac Hansen. He's a quality player, great operator as well. I saw Andy Farrell on the Late Late Show, and they were talking about the tattoo. I say Andy Farrell. Apparently, he's not picked the team, but he's had some kind of influence. But it shows you the influence that Mac Hansen has, and also Hugo Keenan at 15. I can't wait to see that aerial battle between the two 15s. Freddie Stewart, as you know, I'm a massive fan of. For England, I'll finish on this. They are desperate, this Six Nations. Not necessarily the players, but as a country, for something to happen. What does success look like for England? Is it third? You know? Can they beat France at home? Like, they've got the toughest 2 games up front. And I look at that Ireland team there, and I might be proven wrong. There's a part of me that hopes, I'm quarter English, there's a part of me that hopes that England can do something in Dublin. But I look at the balance of the back row, the back 5 particularly, with Josh van der Fleer, he's on fire, Caelan Doris, Ryan Beard is 6'6", like unbelievable athlete. Ty Byrne, who can play at 6 as well, he's been brilliant for Munster, he's great over ball. James Ryan, proven international player, a load of experience. The one will be around scrum. Me and Goody were chatting on the rugby pod whether or not the scrum will creak for Ireland, but England ain't got a massive scrummaging pack. It's not as if, the old England before, where it's all about scrum and set piece going forward. So I think this game is won in the air. And who can deal with in and around that. So Cadan Murley versus Mac Hansen, James Lowe, who we know is a phenomenal player as well, aerially, Hugo Keenan with his GAA background or whatever it is, and Freddie Stewart, who for me is the best under the high ball. So it's going to be a battle in the air, it's going to be a battle at the breakdown, and it's going to be a battle of managing the referee. And look, Caelan Doris, as captain, there's talk of him being the British and Irish Lions captain. I'm a big fan of Caelan as well, but his interaction with Ben O'Keefe and Maro Itoje's interaction with the referee and staying on the right side of the discipline. This is going to be a close game. I don't think this is going to be 15 points, Goody said on the rugby pod. This is closer than we think.
I think so, yeah.
Sam Prendergast versus Marcus Smith. Mac Hansen versus Cadan Murley. Caelan Doris versus Ben Earl. There's matchups throughout the whole pitch, but the big ones, all eyes are going to be on Sam Prendergast. I wish him well. I hope he does really well. You know, I want to see the kid do well. And I go in this as a neutral because Scotland, we've got Italy. And I'm only picking one game every week. This is the game of the week. But Scotland's going to be tough against Italy. But I can't wait for that. But anyway, interact. Thanks for everyone watching the show. You can comment below. You can interact. If I've got a bit of time, I'll come back and add some comments in as well. But please subscribe to the channel as you have done before. And I appreciate all the love and support. Thank you.